Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
A well-known Lakeland politician is stuck in Haiti right now. The Reeve of the Municipal District of Bonnyville, Barry Kolinsky, has been in Haiti since February 26th. A statement from the MD says Kolinsky is on a mission trip on behalf of the Mission of Grace Orphanage in Haiti. Shortly after his arrival in the country, the political system came under attack and the country thrown into chaos. The statement goes on to say the MD administration is in regular communication with Reeve Kolinsky. He has indicated that he is currently safe, but is unsure when he'll be able to return. Deputy Reeve Josh Crick has temporarily assumed the Reeve's duties. One of the next issues Lloydminster City Council will tackle is work on the water and sewer system. Lloydminster annually allocates some funds to keep the city's underground sewer systems in check. Some key areas in the community have been identified as needing to be addressed.
This year, they decided to go around and rehabilitate some of the water sewer lines around the Avery School area to just spread it around the community. There is a main line that has some challenges there from the sounds of it, so that's why they chose to go that route. And of course, when you're doing the water and sewer underground, you're also rehabilitating the roadway, the cement curb and gutters and that sort of stuff in that same spot too.
The intention this year is replacement of infrastructure which was installed in the 1960s.
One of the things that we try and budget every year is a little bit of water and sewer replacement, and it moves around our community and into different locations. And there's always there will always probably be a need to replace water and sewer lines underground, and they'll just keep, like I said, biting away at it.
The project is planned to start in spring of the year and end by mid-September. The CCAA Women's Basketball Nationals got underway yesterday with the quarterfinal games. The host Lakeland Rustlers looked to continue their undefeated season when they took on the Okanagan Coyotes. Our Thomas Wildman has more on the beginning of Nationals.
The atmosphere was absolutely electric for the Rustlers' first game at Nationals, as the stands were so packed that many stood on the sidelines to cheer on their Rustlers. However, Nationals brings the best of the best from across the country, and the Okanagan Coyotes were the silver medalists in the Pac West Conference and were ready to play spoiler. The first quarter was tightly matched with great defensive play from both sides, ending the first quarter 13-17. But then, in the second, the floodgates opened. The Rustlers would go an impressive 8 for 12 at the three-point line en route to 31 points in the second quarter, leading to a 48-31 lead heading into halftime. The Rustlers carried this momentum into the third, scoring another 33 points, giving the Rustlers an 81-47 lead, and they would hold on to that lead in the fourth quarter and shut down the Coyotes, leading to a 96-55 opening round victory. Caitlin Schillebert would get Player of the Game honors, and she had 19 points and 5 rebounds in the game.
Definitely a high feeling, like I'm very at the roof right now, but it will calm down and my team will very calm, composed, so that will carry hopefully to the next games coming.
Schillebert wasn't the only outstanding Rustler, as every Rustler that hit the floor had an impact in the victory.
This has been our focus all year to get ready for these games. We know we're 12 players deep, we're probably 14 to be honest, we can only play 12, but we know everyone brings something, and tonight you saw it. I think probably everyone touched the score sheet in terms of affecting the game, and we do it by committee. It's not one player, it's not two players, it's the whole group. So tonight to see our shooters shoot well is great. More importantly, our defense was pretty solid today.
With this win, the Lakeland Rustlers are now in the national semifinals, where they will be one win away from the gold medal match. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
The Lloydminster Reapers Rugby Club is preparing for the upcoming season. Stacey Comer found out more about an information session to help recruit more members.
I have a special guest today on Primetime Local News. Cale Miller is here to talk about the Lloydminster Reapers Rugby Club. Cale, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Well, the weather is starting to get a little bit nicer, and so people are gearing towards going outside, and that means that the Reapers are doing the same, Cale. So tell me where you guys are at right now as far as getting things going for the next season.
Right now, we are just setting up again. We have an upcoming Information Day in a few weeks. That'll be on March 23rd. And that's where we'll be giving out all of our info on our new programs coming out. So first off, it starts at 1 p.m. at ES Laird. We're beginning with the info on our juniors team. So that is ages 3 to 12. That's run by our coach, Joe. Then we'll be talking about our brand new, we're calling it a feeder program. So any high school students who are interested in playing can join the Reapers, and once they're done school, they'll have a chance to come out and play with us during their off season, as well as just coming to all the practices and all that. And then we'll have more information on our senior team, so men and women.
And all of these levels are for both men and women, though. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So last year, our women team ended up teaming up with the Rockers in Edmonton because we were lacking a few numbers to have our own games here locally. So yeah, our girls joined the Rockers, and then this year we're doing that again. And for the men's, we're still working out some of the information, but we're looking at combining forces with one of the men's teams in the Edmonton area to get some of our guys out onto the field because there's some really good talent out there.
Well, let's talk about the commitment that's needed when you play for the Reapers. What are we talking about when it comes to practice and uniforms and all that stuff? I am guessing it'd be a lot less than say something like hockey, where you've got a whole bunch of equipment you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
buy.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, this year, I don't think we're doing fees for memberships. Just show up. Practices again will be twice a week at the ES Laird Field. I can't remember off the top of my head right now which days we agreed on, but that will be at the info session on the 23rd. And same thing, if you are interested in both casual or competitive, just show up at the field. No need to tell us, just show up and say hi. We're very welcoming, very friendly community. And another thing that we're focused on this year is more community building. Last year, I think we scared away a few people by being so heavy into the sport aspect of it. This year, we really want to be more of a community thing. So, one thing we're doing this year is at least once a month, we're going to go out for a supper or games or anything. We'll talk about it ahead of time, and anyone can come, even if they're not an actual player. If they just want something to do and meet people, we want to really focus on that this year.
And this is meant for all skill levels as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have people that have never played before. We have people who have been playing for 20 plus years. We have fresh high school students, and we have people into their ages 50 plus playing and joining. So
What do you say to somebody, Kale, who was going to come out and, maybe they've been thinking about it, but they're unsure of the sport or what's needed to commit to it? What do you tell somebody who's a newbie and kind of on the fence about joining the Reapers?
just come out and do it. Come say hi. We won't force you to do anything you don't want to do. I think the practices, if you show up to the practices, you'll be able to dip your feet in without any of the super physical aspect, if that's what you're scared about. And it's just a great way to build confidence, get out there, get some exercise, make friends. Um, and also a lot of people, they always say there's nothing to do in Lloydminster. Well, this is one thing to do that you can do. Come and be part of something.
Well, thanks for your time today, Kale. And one more time before I let you go here, where and when is the information session?
It'll be 1 p.m. at the ES Laird Middle School on March 23rd.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Kale, and good luck with the Reapers team this year. It seems like it's an environment that's friendly for everybody. And as you said, not a big commitment time wise or expense wise. So we encourage everybody to come on and check out the Reapers.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Abby St. John is back in now to take a second look at our weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Leanne. We're currently sitting at 4 degrees. We saw quite a nice day out today. Very sunny out. The clouds are starting to roll in now. With that wind chill, it only feels like +2. So we're still above zero. The wind has slowed down just a little bit to 13 kilometers per hour. It is going to speed back up as we go into this evening and into tomorrow. It's going to be quite windy, so definitely be prepared for that. But we saw a nice day out today. Across Alberta, 8 degrees out in Cold Lake and Rocky Mountain House, 5 in Red Deer, 11 in Edmonton, 10 in Jasper, Whitecourt, and Athabasca, and 12 out in Edson. And then in Saskatchewan, Meadow Lake is sitting at +4, +1 in North Battleford, Saskatoon, and Melfort, and 3 out in Prince Albert. And then up north in Saskatchewan, -4 in Uranium City, -2 in -1 in Stony Rapids, and +1 in Flin Flon, 3 in Wollaston Lake, 4 in South End, and 8 in Laloche and Buffalo Narrows. And in Alberta, 1 degrees out in Fort Chipewyan, 8 out in Fort Mac, 2 in High Level, 7 in Peace River, 11 in Slave Lake, and 10 out in Grand Prairie. And then down south in Alberta, 3 degrees in Coronation, 10 in Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, and Calgary, and 7 out in Banff. And in Saskatchewan, 1 in Kindersley and Regina, 0 in Yorkton, 2 in Moose Jaw, 4 in Swift Current, and -1 out in Estevan. Overnight tonight in North Battleford will drop down to just 0. In the cloud, it will be quite overcast tonight, and the winds will pick up to 20 kilometers per hour. So definitely be cautious. It's going to be a little bit chilly with that wind. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake will drop down to just +2, but it will also be an overcast night out tonight with 19 kilometer per hour winds. And then overnight tonight across the region, 2 degrees out in Meadow Lake and Isla Cross, 3 in Bonnyville, 1 in Provost, 0 out in Paradise Hill, and then more cloudier conditions in Meadow Lake, Isla Cross, and Paradise Hill. And then there will be a little bit of cloud breaking in Bonnyville and Provost, so it should start to clear up as the evening goes on. And wind speeds, Bonnyville has about 20 kilometer per hour winds, 19 kilometers per hour winds in Meadow Lake, Isla Cross, or in Paradise Hill and Provost, and 13 kilometers per hour in Isla Cross. And then more overnight temperatures, 2 out in Murnum, 3 in Pearceland and Calgary, 0 in Unity, and 1 out in Wainwright. And same partially to cloudy conditions overnight tonight. And wind speeds are around 22 kilometers per hour in Murnum and in Unity, 20 in Wainwright, 19 in Pearceland, and 13 out in Calgary. So the wind is going to be quite strong in some of those areas across the region. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, like I said, the wind speed is going to start picking up as we go into the evening. 28 kilometer per hour wind speeds, and it's going to get up to about 35 tomorrow afternoon as well. And we are also on considerably cloudy overnight tonight as well, but we will have a low of just 1 degrees. Over the next 7 days, a high of 7 and a low of -6 for tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud. Mix of sun and cloud on Saturday with a high of +2 and a low of -8. +4 is the daytime high on Sunday. Mix of sun and cloud with a low of 0. Sunny day on Monday is predicted. Windy in the morning with a high of 8 and a low of -7. A high of +3 out on Tuesday. A little bit cloudier with a low of -10. And then things kind of get cooler again. We have a 55% chance of some snow on Wednesday with a high of -6 and a low of -16. Low of -16 also out on Thursday with a high of -7 and quite a cloudy day out. But we have this weekend to look forward to with that sun. But as a look at your evening weather forecast, we'll have more news coming up after the break. I'm very happy to be joined here today by Alexa Blyan, and it's a very exciting topic that we're talking about today. So first, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Of course, I'm happy to have you. Now, this is a very exciting topic. You have a documentary that you've been working on that is finally going to be shown to the public, and it was shot here in Lloydminster, kind of a love letter to Lloydminster. Tell me about this documentary and, the importance of it.
Yeah, we actually made the documentary as part of a TELUS original series called Out There. It was directed by Kayla Wachell. She's a very talented cinematographer based out of Vancouver. And basically, the film is called Nisika Son Lex. It means my name is Lex. And it's kind of just a deep dive into my life growing up here in Lloydminster, a look at my relationship with my friends. We also talk a lot about the Small Fires Mentorship Program that goes on in Lloyd at LCHS. We were all members of that mentorship group, and that's kind of where we all met. So it started this whole story. Um, we had our world premiere actually was at Imaginative Film Festival this past October in Toronto. We showed at Chilliwack Independent Film Festival as well as the Gem Fest, Gender Equality in Media Festival.
Now, this is very exciting. And, you seem very young yourself. And as I was reading more about, kind of this synopsis of it, this, it kind of just show your life as a young Indigenous woman. And, that's very important to show, especially here in the border city, because there is a very large Indigenous population. Why is it important, especially to show the lives of young Indigenous peoples around the city? Why is it important to really show that rich history here in the city?
It's important because it is such a foundational part of who we are as not only a community but as a country as well. Especially like in any community, but Lloydminster specifically, as that's where I'm from. It was important to showcase our experiences because, and we talk about it a bit in the film. We weren't always um as comfortable as we are now talking about our experiences as Indigenous youth and women in Woodminster. And it's something that we really do need to talk more about and have those good conversations because it's part of reconciliation, it's part of building a new future and changing things for the generations to come.
Now, you being young yourself, how did you get involved with this documentary and the program that you guys started this on?
So when I was 16 years old, I started in the mentorship group at LCHS, and we did a lot. The group continues to be focused on mentoring Indigenous youth across the school division. So that's kind of how I got involved in that aspect of it. But outside of the mentorship group, I did a lot of advocacy work when I was in high school. So that continued until I was out of high school. I graduated in COVID. So there came a time where everything kind of got shut down, community events, all of that kind of stuff. So I started a video series called Digital Voices, and that was kind of my way to stay involved in the community without breaking those guidelines. So Digital Voices is a platform where you just come and you're raw with your story. It's like an interview style series. And from doing digital voices, that's when Kayla reached out to me from Vancouver and wanted us to be part of this documentary.
That sounds very amazing. And, I think it's very important for young people like yourself to be a part of those advocacy groups and to get involved because it definitely it makes a difference, especially for those younger than you as well, because they see you doing that and then they get inspired. And then it's a chain reaction, which is really important in today's society as well. Now, this documentary is going to be shown to the public here in the border city on March 18th. Tell me about the technical aspects, when it starts, where people can find tickets, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so on March 18th, we'll be hosting a screening of the film at Lakeland College. It'll be in the Service Lecture Theater, which is on the second floor. Um, the event doors open at 6:30. The event starts at 7 p.m. and you can buy tickets online at our Eventbrite website. It's a love letter to Lloydminster is the event name. It's also all over our Facebooks, and if you want to reach out to me on Instagram at Alexa Blyan, we also have tickets that we're giving away to students as well as Indigenous community members and really anybody else who wants a ticket but isn't able to get one. Um, we're having a lot of help from LCHS, the Small Fires Mentorship Group. They're volunteering to help us run this event. So we're really excited. It's so great to show it to Lloydminster. It's just going to be amazing.
Yes, this sounds like it's going to be so exciting, and I'm so happy for you that this is coming out and people are going to love it and see it. So, thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you the best of luck for Monday.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm happy to be joined today on Primetime Local News by the CEO of Synergy Credit Union. Glenn Stang is here for a very exciting thing for Synergy. Glenn, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Stacy, for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Well, we want to chat about another honor for Synergy, which is being named as one of Canada's top 100 employers again this year. And obviously, it's such a great thing because being in Saskatchewan and being able to have that honor must be just so exciting for you.
It is truly exciting, and it's a real honor to be recognized as a top employer in Saskatchewan. So we didn't make the Canada list; it's more of a provincial list for the seventh year in a row. And I'm really proud of my team. It really reflects Synergy's commitment to its employees, to our membership, and the communities that we serve. Synergy is well known for the activities that we do in our communities, and again, our people are our greatest assets, and the best way that we can provide them or serve them is to provide them with a fulfilling and supportive workplace.
Now, being named in Saskatchewan as one of the top employers, do you know what criteria they look at for this to actually figure out who gets on the list?
Yeah, really, the evaluation process considers the workplace environment, which is really our culture, right? And I think Synergy has great culture. It's something I hear often from new employees that have worked elsewhere that join us. So the strength of our culture really consists of our focus on creating that supportive, inclusive, rewarding workplace. And the evaluators will also consider our employee benefits, internal communications, community involvement, which again is something that Synergy really excels in. Last year our team recorded 8,382 hours of volunteerism in our community, which averages about 38 hours per employee. So again, I'm really proud of that fact.
Well, and this must be something too where there is the trickle down effect when you have employees who love what they're doing. Then when customers come in, that translates into a great customer experience as well.
You bet. You always say, take care of the team. If your teammates are happy, they're going to serve those people coming in and they're going to be happy. So yeah, it's all beneficial, all cyclical.
What would you tell somebody, Glenn, who is maybe not a member of Synergy yet, but is thinking about moving their financial investments or banking or whatever they want to do? What would you say to somebody who is not yet a member, but why should they be a Synergy member?
So they need to come to Synergy and just experience the engagement that they get with our staff across the counter, with our advisors, either virtually, online, like we're meeting today, or in our offices. We really focus again hard on training our people to make sure that they're competent. We train our people to really listen to what members' needs are and then to do their best to help members achieve their financial goals. That's why we're here. If our members are successful, so are our communities, and so is Synergy.
Now, going forward into the future, is this something where you guys have to submit information every year to be on this list, or how does that work, Glenn?
Yeah, the value in participating in this whole top employer evaluation process is that we get to learn what other employers are doing so that we can continue to evolve our employee value proposition. And this recognition that we do get and we can utilize the logo and some of that stuff in our materials that we use helps us to attract and retain talent. And again, we just talked about the value of good talent, right? What it does for meeting members and serving members really, really well. So it's something that we aspire to continue to do, and really my wish and ambition is that we actually make the Canadian list someday. But we have a little bit of work to do to get there for sure.
And now you did, this is the seventh year, correct, for the
Seventh
Saskatchewan
year,
list? So that must
yeah.
mean something as well, too. It's not just a one or two time thing.
No, just to be able to be consistently being recognized means that we're continuing to evolve our processes, getting a little bit better each year. And again, our members should see the benefits of this longer term as well.
Well, Glenn, thank you so much for joining me. And I know that it's not going to be long before we see you on the Canadian list. But
That would be great.
even so, being named one of the top employers in Saskatchewan consistently must just feel great for you and your staff. So
It is.
congratulations.
It's
And
wonderful.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm sure we'll have this conversation again next year.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you.
And for those with a love of math and all things that celebrate numbers, today is March the 14th, otherwise known as Pi Day. The original Pi Day that celebrates the mathematical constant that expresses the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter dates back to 1988. Pi is infinite, with researchers using supercomputers having calculated it to trillions of digits with no end. Many people choose to mark the occasion with their favorite pies.
That's what I definitely do because math, not my forte.
Yeah,
it was
either.
my weakness. So, but
Mine
I
either.
love the PIEs. You know, I love different kinds of pies. I'll stick with those instead of the numbers.
We have to thank our staff as well for bringing in pizza pies for us for lunch today. They were thinking ahead. That is all we have for you tonight. So thank you very much for joining us and have a good evening.